Hello everyone. So for this session, right, there's something I like to discuss, and I think it requires some discussion, mainly to prevent folks here from getting sucked into this kind of pump and dump situation. So for those who are not aware, there recently have been a news about a pump and dump stock buying scam in rise in Singapore. This is mainly it is due to the recent I would say popularity in social media stocks group such as WhatsApp, Telegram. I'm sure you will see a lot of things, a lot of spam in a lot of Facebook group that you join. Even Tiger Family Facebook group also have a lot of folks spamming their Telegram page lah. Like they are all very willing to share things for free. They are willing to share a lot of stuff for free. And sometimes this kind of thing, right, at the back end, there are some very shady, funny things going around. So in this case, right, what is actually happening is that whoever is the main controller of this group chat or this sharing group, right, what they essentially do is they try to buy a stock that is they try to buy the stock very cheap, and after they collected enough shares of this stock, right, they will release it into their social media group, their Telegram, to say that actually this stock has very good potential. You can buy it and it will go up. So most people will likely to blindly follow. And when they follow, right, what happened is that this stock indeed goes up. But the funny thing is the stocks is going up because they are buying, not because the stock is valuable, or some other smart money or the big boys are buying. It's not because of that, but it is going up because they are the one that are buying and driving the price up. So what happened is that after they buy and the price goes up, right, the operator or the owner of this Telegram group or WhatsApp group who has already bought the stock at a very low price, right, they will start selling to these people who are actually buying based on their own recommendation. So it's like for example, I introduce you that there is this property very good for investment, very high end, confirm in the next 10 years, confirm earn money one. But the seller is me. I'm the one that's selling you this property. So there is a conflict of interest that is arise there. So what happened here is you might be asking, is it possible for a social media group, a group of retail trader to is enough funds to push up the price of a particular stock? Is it enough? Actually, in the Singapore market, there are a lot of stocks which actually have very low liquidity. They don't really have a lot of buyers or seller, meaning just by a small amount of funds, right? You can actually push up the price with relative ease. For example, if we look at a very obscure penny counters that nobody heard before, compared to, let's say, a counter such as Propnex, in order for someone to move Propnex by 10 cent, not say 10 cent, by 1 cent, if you want to move Propnex by 1 cent, right, it is going to actually take you a few $1,000,000. Because Propnex is a very popular counter, a lot of people buy, there's a lot of demand, there's a lot of supply and demand are a lot. But let's say if we go to a very obscure counter that nobody heard before, for example, in this case here, right, I'm going to give you an example. The counter is Dutech. Have you heard of Dutech? I don't know. I have not heard of it, but let's say if someone, if you want to push the price of Dutech by 1 cent, right, it is actually very easy. You can spend less than $10,000 to push up the price of Dutech by 1 cent. So what happened is the operator, the Telegram group owner, can actually buy the share price of Dutech at very low price, let's say $2.50. After he bought enough already, he can actually release it in the his Telegram group to say that, hey, DuTech is going to go up, you all can go and buy. So if you have like 1,000 follower in your Telegram group and each 1,000 follower is buying like $2,000 to $3,000 worth of shares, that's actually goes to about a few $1,000,000 worth of shares that can be actually pushed up, and a few $1,000,000 is indeed more than enough to push up a very, very low liquidity counter. You cannot definitely push up a counter like Propnex or UMS or Singtel or the big cap counters, but you can definitely push up a very low liquidity counter. So here lies a few things that you need to be very, very careful to protect yourself. Number one, be wary of free sharing group. There is a reason why they are sharing for free. Be very, very wary. If you don't know who they are, if they are a random person, they don't have a track record, you cannot do any research about them, right? Then it is very likely that they are trying some funny stuff, and it is safe for you to stay away. Number two, be very wary when people are promising you extremely high return for very low capital. If someone promises you like 1,000% return or 5,000% return or even maybe 500% return, it means that you are taking up a lot of risk with that return, right? If you want to have that amount of return, you need to take up a lot of risk, and that involves things like leverage and options, or options is like very highly leveraged already. So once you go into this area, especially when you are following trade calls without any knowledge of your own and you blindly go into these areas, right, you can actually lose more than what you put in. So for example, you put in $500 because that guy say that you can earn 1,000% return, meaning you are looking for your $500 to become $50,000. But the thing is, the opposite is also true. If things go wrong, right, your $500, you can actually like lose more than $500. You can actually lose like $5,000 and you end up having to fork out that $4,500 from somewhere. So be wary of very, very high returns and those recommendations that doesn't focus on risk. And the third thing, be wary of what kind of stuff that they are introducing. So for example, I'm going to show you very specific example here. So let's look at DuTech, this counter, right? You can see if you are a very, I wouldn't say even experienced, if you know how to read your charts, right? Just by one look, you can see that this chart there is liquidity issue. No one actually buying and selling. That's why most of the day you see a straight line, like a lot of breakage like that. And in fact, even on days that there are some buying, right, you can see that the up and down are very big. Meaning, number one, there is liquidity issue. Number two, there is spread issue. The spread is very, very big. So for example, I have POEM. This is my POEM. I actually have DuTech here. So example here, right, you can see that the bid price is 0.430 and the ask price is 0.450, meaning the spread here is 2 cents, and it's a very, very big spread because the spread almost made up about 5%, meaning you are actually paying 5% extra for the spread itself. So for Singapore, any counters that is below $1, right, the spread that you should be looking for is 0.005, meaning in this case, right, what you should be seeing is something like what you should be seeing is 0.445. This will probably be the bid, and the ask will probably be around 0.450. So you can see that the spread here, right, the difference here, right, is actually 0.005. So this is the minimum spread. So any counter that doesn't meet this minimum spread, right, it means that the spread is quite big because there is liquidity issue. Nobody is buying, nobody is selling, hence result in a big spread. So you should stay away from these kind of counters, be it someone intro to you or not. It is best that you stay away, because when you want to sell, right, maybe you might end up not you might end up in a case where there's nobody is willing to buy from you because there's basically no demand for this kind of stock lah. And number two, right? If you look at the ask, the selling price is 450, and the selling volume is only 3 lots. Meaning, in order to push this counter from 450 to the next level, so let's see the next level. Let's look at the market depth to see the next level. The next level is 470. You can see that the next price is 470. Meaning once this 3,000 shares of selling is gone, right, the next price will be 470. So meaning I only need about 0.450 times 3,000. I only need $1,350 just to push this price to 0.47. And at 0.47, right, you can see that there's only 6,500 shares, meaning I only need another 3,000 to push this to 0.48, meaning less than 100K, right? With less than 100K, I can actually push Jutech all the way to 50 cents. And you can see that at 0.43, right, there is a huge buying volume, meaning this is probably someone who is sort of operating remotely, that is sort of looking to buy the shares at very, very cheap. Then once they bought all the shares very cheaply at 0.43, right, they will probably release it into their chat group to say, hey, you all can buy now. Then all the blind followers, they will go and blindly buy up all these at 0.45, 0.47, 0.48. And when all these buyers are rushing in, right, the Telegram group owner who probably bought a lot at 0.43 will start selling to them. And the thing is, when all these folks who bought at 45, 47, all these blind followers who bought at 45, 47, 48, when they want to sell, right, there's actually no buyer already. There's actually no buyer because whoever that is controlling this, manipulating this stock already sell it to these blind followers. And these blind followers, in return, they have no one else to sell to because now there's no one buying already. And what they end up doing is they end up having to sell probably all the way at 0.395. In this case, they will end up losing lots and lots of money, probably can go to millions of dollars. So from the look of how this Jutech is like, right, I think that this counter probably in a manipulation mode also. So if you are in some Telegram group, some free WeChat group or WhatsApp group, and if that person is promoting you this stock, right, be very wary. This is just some random stock that I pull up with very low liquidity, but this stock has all signs of manipulation present, and be extremely careful. Okay, so let's recap again. Number one, do not follow random WhatsApp group that you see on Facebook links. Make sure you can research this person, you can research this group. Normally just a random WhatsApp, right, they are very shady, especially if they do not have a proper website, if they do not have a proper background. It's a very shady business. Of course, for example, Sonic R does have a free Telegram, but they have a track record. They also have proven themselves to be very good traders. So for those kind of groups that you already know who they are, right, of course it is okay to follow. But all these random people that you never heard of, right, be very careful. Number two, if they are offering you very high unrealistic return, 500%, 1000%, normally this kind of high risk, right, you are going to put up a lot of this kind of over promising of high returns, right, you are going to put up a lot of risk that you are not even probably aware of. So be very careful. So number three, if all these websites ask you to sign up for a brokerage that is not regulated by MAS, be very careful also. Do not use anything that is not regulated by MAS, especially now during the craze period of cryptocurrency, right? It can be very dangerous. So even if you want to get involved in cryptocurrency, do your own due diligence. And number four, when they are introducing stocks that are very, very high in spread, very low in liquidity, that's a straight giveaway. That's a straight giveaway. You should not even need to bother really. But the moment I look at this chart and this counter, it's a clear sign that there's something fishy going on around here lah. And try not to fall for that. So I do hope that this video give you a little bit of insight on what is going on and how you can prevent yourself from falling prey to this kind of tricks. Do protect yourself, and number one thing is please don't be greedy. Please don't be greedy, because there is no free money in the world. Nobody is going to give you free money in the world. That's the danger of free stuff. There are a lot of attachment that you probably are not aware of. Hence, it is good that you go and find someone who have a track record, someone who is reputable. I'm not I'm not pointing at anyone, but it is just to protect yourself lah. Okay, so have a good day, everyone.